So decided to go live before I do my late night workout. So, I really said that I was going to focus on fitness going into the new year, and I'm serious. So, I'm about to get it in, but I decided that I would get a live in, talk about some stuff. And boxing is starting to get interesting going into the new year. Hold on, let me adjust this right quick. All right, you guys. So I wanted to adjust this, make sure everything is tight, before I do this stream. So I don't know how long I'm going to be on. Probably try to keep this under 30 minutes, but it was announced via Devin Haney personally that Devin Haney plans on returning to the ring, which I pretty much knew that Devin Haney was going to return to the ring. What's going on? Return to the ring around March. I don't know exactly what day, but it looked like from what I was told that Devin's going to be making his return to the Bay Area. So, shout out to Devin fighting at home in the Bay Area. Look like he will be fighting, from my knowledge, it's not called the Oracle anymore. It's called the Oakland Arena. So it looked like he'll be fighting in the Oakland Arena or the Chase Center again. But then again, March is, March in the Chase Center, that might be a little, difficult because, they start winding down the NBA season, trying to get ready for the playoffs and all that kind of stuff. But from what I was told, Devin going to be fighting in all likelihood at the Oakland Arena. So that's good for Devin. And the funny thing is, for the people that say they don't care about Devin, as soon as he announced it, everybody was like, well, who cares? Obviously, you care if you responded. If you didn't care, you wouldn't have said nothing. But then again, sometimes you have to let people know that you don't care when they spend a lot of time focusing on you. Just like we all know what this Devin Haney thing is all about. And I already broke it down. People get mad when I talk about race and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to continue to talk about race. If you have an issue with me talking about race, then my channel isn't for you. I'm not going to dumb my channel down. I'm not going to numb it up to make you guys feel comfortable because you don't like me talking about racism. If you have a problem with racism, it's because you practice racism. Look, I already exposed the double standards in regards to the David Benavides. All of a sudden, David Benavides asked for an equal playing field. Nobody's making videos saying, oh, well, skills should pay the bills. It doesn't matter whether somebody now all of a sudden, oh, well, David has a right because, because David Morrell has been accused in the past of being on PDs, and so is Ryan Garcia. Like I said, the only reason why these low IQ Mexicans and these low IQ Sambo Negroes, and like I said, I'm just going to be honest with you. If you still ride with Ryan Garcia and you black, you an enemy to me. Now, I don't have a problem with all Mexicans, but I have a problem with Ryan Garcia. Once you exercise terrorist threats, and Ryan is online making full-fledged terrorist threats, he threatened to demonstrate a hate crime, but you got black people still trying to support him. And don't come on here talking that, oh, what Ryan said don't affect me. I'm not what he said. Yes, come on, dude, stop it. If you call yourself black, if your identification says that you were black, he was talking to you. And when I hear people saying that, that's weak and that's cowardly. That's how a punk would talk. But if I sit up there and call you a coon or something, or call you a Sambo or something, or call you a sellout, oh, you got all the smoke in the world. You want to fight me. You want to do X amount of this to me. But the person that you should have that vitriol to, you giving him a pass. At the end of the day, Ryan Garcia cheated. He got caught cheating. All this stuff about the amount of Osterine that was in his system wouldn't have affected the fight. Listen, if it wouldn't have affected the outcome of the fight, why is he suspended? Why did he get suspended? Why did Ryan Garcia chose to take a plea instead of having a hearing because he knew he took that stuff. And then all these boxers, I'm going to say it again, taking pictures with Ryan Garcia after what he said about black people, you look like a punk and you look weak. And don't try to sit up there and talk about what the Bible says this and the Bible says that. Get out of here with that stuff. You so into the Bible, but yet, hey, you didn't have children out of wedlock. You're having premarital relations. You doing every other thing that the Bible say you shouldn't do, but all of a sudden you using that as an excuse to give Ryan Garcia a pass for what he said. Come on, man. Don't sit up here and insult people's intelligence. Don't insult my intelligence. You just look weak. If Ryan Garcia came up to me trying to take a picture, I would smush face him. And that's just real talk. At the end of the day, these Mexicans ain't mad at Devin. They mad at Ryan. But they trying to disguise their disappointment in Ryan Garcia because he got caught cheating. They trying to basically put it on Devin. But they real anger is towards Ryan because he got popped. He got popped because they wanted to celebrate his victory. And like I said before, they wasn't even messing with Ryan Garcia. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm a little tired, but I'm still going to try to get through it. So, I'm a little tired, but I'm still finna go to the gym and work out. But that's why they really mad. And they wasn't even messing with Ryan. And that's the funny part. Once again, before this fight happened, before we knew this fight was going to go down, before we knew the results of the fight, they were all picking Devin Haney to win. Oh, Devin's just going to outbox Ryan in a boring fight. Then all of a sudden Ryan wins. Then all of a sudden they're Ryan Garcia fans, Viva La Mexico. And just before that fight, they were saying Ryan Garcia wasn't a real Mexican. Oh, so he wasn't a real Mexican until he beat a black fighter in Devin Haney. Like I said, I'm going to keep ethering y'all and cooking y'all. Because like I said, I'll ride my own wave. I don't answer to nobody. I don't have no big homie. I'm my own entity. I work for myself. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm affiliated with people. I'm going to say this once again. I am my own entity. Okay? I don't have nobody that I answer to. I may have affiliation with people, but I'm solo. And at the same time, I'm not dissing nobody neither. But I want to make that very clear. Devin, the last 8 months, have been the most popular fighter. I'm talking about Devin's name is everywhere. And at the end of the day, some people look at it as, well, there's no such thing as bad publicity. But at the end of the day, you keeping Devin's name hot. Devin's name is way hotter than Tank's. Nobody ain't thinking about that fight that Tank is going to have in March. Yeah, it may sell out, but ain't nobody really checking for it. All you see is people making videos about Devin. Hate him or love him, he's everywhere. Now, keep in mind, Devin enrolled in 24-hour VADA tested. Now, that's another thing. Okay. It's funny that Ryan Garcia said he's willing to take 24-hour VADA testing and go into a rematch. Now, all of a sudden, Ryan ain't nowhere to be found. Devin then pulled Ryan Garcia's whole card so many times. But once again, y'all ain't making no videos about how basically Devin enrolled in 24-hour testing 365 days a year. Where's those videos at? And I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to make this very clear. There's some people out there, and I'm not trying to sneak diss nobody, but I'm going to keep it 100. I done seen some of these unwarranted attacks on Devin Haney, and I'm going to keep it 100. If you got an issue with Bill, your issue should be with Bill. But Devin ain't did nothing to a lot of these people. He don't deserve the attacks that he's basically been a part of. He doesn't deserve these attacks. They're unwarranted and they're not fair. Because at the end of the day, if it was the other way around, if Ryan Garcia was doing what Devin was doing, people would be all for it. They would be saying if Devin tested positive for PEDs, they'd be saying get him out of boxing and all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, we know what it is because Devin is black. There's this thing where people think black people ain't never supposed to say nothing. People come on my channel talking about, oh, I'm weak-minded because I'm responding to something. Man, fuck y'all. And that's just real talk. You're not going to make me feel guilty about calling BS out. Your opinion means about as much to me as when I use the bathroom, when I do the number 2. Okay? That's how much your opinion means to me. You're not going to make me feel guilty. You're not going to shame me about it because I just don't give a damn what you think. If I did, I would have went a different path on building my channel. And I'm not going to conform to sitting up here, samboing it up, cooning it up, being a watermelon man for views and likes and subscribers. You have the wrong guy. You really do. But then again, it appears as a society, we're going backwards. The guy that got screwed is the one that's been demonized. And this is before the lawsuit. Talking about take your loss like a man. No, if the man fought you on an uneven playing field, the person you should be mad at is the dude that cheated. Like I said, I understand why you Latinos, and particularly you Mexicans, are upset at Ryan Garcia, but you should really just make it known he disappointed y'all. He let y'all down. Y'all didn't believe in him until after the fight. Devin Haney was the favorite in that fight. Ryan Garcia gave all the hints in the world that he was going to cheat. He said he was going to win at all costs. He said Devin Haney was never going to be the same after this fight. But Devin has recovered. And we will see in March. Devin has worked on some things. But stop trying to say that left hook. No, it was those PEDs that was in Ryan's system. Don't try to sit up here and insult my intelligence by trying to say the amount that was found in his system didn't affect the fight. That doesn't make any kind of sense. That's like saying listen, don't they take you to jail if they do a breathalyzer test? Isn't there a certain amount of alcohol you can only have in your system where they will officially pronounce you as being intoxicated, which means they're going to take your ass to jail? It's a proven fact that alcohol messes with your decision making. That's been proven. And so does marijuana. So does cocaine. It makes you incohesion. Can we stop playing these games? Can we stop playing these games? That's how it works. If the police pull you over and feel that you are intoxicated, if they feel that you may be a threat to yourself or harming anybody else, what do? They make you take a breathalyzer. They make you blow into it. And if it says that you are over the amount, the legal amount you can have in your system to be coherent enough to drive, they're going to put you in the car. They're going to place you under arrest. They're going to tow your car. So don't sit up here and try to insult my intelligence by saying that didn't affect the outcome of the fight. Don't give me that stuff about skills, pay the bills. Everybody's system is different. Okay? Everybody's system is different. The effects can take toll or kick in at a different time. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed to work right away, instantly, but it can kick in. Due to the fact that Ryan Garcia tested positive, it was in his system. In the discussion, he cheated. All this stuff about how I got there, he got framed, and you had people that was really sitting up here trying to insult people's intelligence by trying to say that he got set up. Who in the hell would go to the extreme measure? Oh, you know, this, I'm gonna put this in Ryan Garcia's supplements and make him test positive. Like this was some conspiracy from up top. How in the hell would they know what supplements Ryan Garcia was buying? And then, not to mention, the supplement companies called Ryan Garcia a liar when he was sitting up there trying to say that the supplements that caused him to pop dirty was in the supplements that he obtained. And all the companies that he said came out and said, we will sue you. But that was disregarded. That was disregarded. Nobody didn't want to hear. Ryan Garcia was proven to be a liar on several occasions, but yet Devin Haney was the villain. Fighters been suing fighters forever. I did a video talking about that. Because at the end of the day, you have these people that's just remedial and they just don't want to hear the truth. I don't know if it's because they own some kind of drug that we don't know about, or they're slow, or their mother dropped them on their head or something, or one of their parents dropped on the head, or they used to ride the yellow bus with the helmet. But it was proven time and time again, Ryan Garcia has no credibility. And people just ignored the fact, and you got people trying to sit up here and try to talk to you and try to blatantly sit up here and try to make it look like Ryan Garcia is some kind of victim. Ryan Garcia has been accused of using PEDs by more than just Devin Haney. Tank's coon ass said he was on PEDs leading up to their fight. But then all of a sudden when he fights Devin Haney, then Tank's Sambo ass want to act like, oh, Ryan Garcia is clean. Oh, so he was clean when he fought Devin Haney, but he wasn't clean when he fought you. And that's why you put him through all those regiments going into that fight. You sure made sure you had all the clauses you can in y'all contract to make sure you had an advantage. Tank. So if he was so innocent, he didn't cheat, why you put all the stipulations? But we all know that Tank can't we know Tank can't count to 100. We know Tank can't count to 100 backwards. He can't do a backwards count of 100. And we know Tank probably can't read, a full verse of just your basic book. But I mean, he's so street, but he been boxing since, he's so street, but he been boxing since forever. It's funny, Devin, people are not supposed to care about what happens with Devin Haney, but every time he posts something, you see people pushing the record button, making videos. And at the end of the day, most of y'all ain't never been in a boxing ring or a boxing gym in y'all life. None of y'all don't have no degree in science. But you trying to sit up here and try to tell people how steroid works. When most of y'all probably couldn't basically put together a basic, baby carriage. Most of y'all ain't smart enough to assemble a baby crib. But y'all know so much about PEDs. Even with Victor Conti and Rachel, Rachel Denier tried to explain to y'all how it works. Oh, she's a B. Oh, Victor Conti is a liar. He's like I said. Hilarious. When I say this is hilarious, this is hilarious. You got people that's trying to give y'all common knowledge, but you want to believe content creators. I presented to y'all. I presented y'all the research. I presented everything possible to show you that Ryan Garcia was drug cheating. But yet I got called a hater. I got called whatever. But you got people because they got vendettas against Bill or whatever the case may be. And then, they want to disregard the fact that Ryan Garcia is a dirty, cheating ass Mexican. That's all he is. That's all he is. He's a cheater. And that's all it comes down to. Nobody put out videos about Oscar Duarte saying, hey, man, we believe Ryan Garcia was on PEDs, because you wanted to push that narrative that Devin Haney was just talking out the side of his neck. And then you got, and then the funny thing is, like I said before, the funny thing is they just want to make it look like Devin. First of all, Devin never accused Ryan Garcia of using PEDs until after results of the fight. Then we decided to circle back and, go down memory lane. There have been several fighters, not to mention Ryan Garcia used to train with Eddie Reynoso. Eddie Reynoso has had at least 5 fighters pop dirty. At least. From Canelo to Oscar Valdez to what's the other guy's name? Neri. So then you got Ryan Garcia. So that's a few people. You got to put 2 and 2 together. 2 and 2 together equals 4. 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 plus 8 equals 16. 16 plus 16 is 32. 32 plus 32 is 64. It's just common math. So don't play with me. Now, with that being said, all right, so all right, we are officially in 2025. 2025 and just 4 days into the new year. Well, not good. I just found out today a friend of mine's unfortunately in Oakland lost his life. Found out a good friend of mine that I used to hang out with, lost his life. And he was going through some stuff, already going through some things, basically some personal problems with the mother of his children. They wasn't at odds, but something dramatic happened to her. And he basically was relying on his friends, and I was going to call him and talk to him because he was going through it. And then on New Year's Day, he ended up getting his life taken inside his apartment complex on New Year's Day. And he had children. Good dude, too. I don't want to say his name, but it happened in Oakland. And I'm bothered by it. And when I got the news, I was like bothered by it. I just talked to him. Appreciate that. I just talked to him about maybe 2 weeks ago. So, and he was younger than me. So that's the sad part about it. Way, I'm not gonna say way younger, but he was younger than me. He was like in his early 40s. I'm 50, so and it was just sad to hear about that. But that's what I'm saying. So here we are. We officially in 2025, and No one knows when is Errol Spence going to officially return to the ring. We know he won't be fighting in January. We know he won't be fighting in February. We know in all likelihood he won't be fighting in March. And you have to ask the question, is it some internal things going on with Errol Spence? Is it financials via the PBC? I'm going to just say this. This is just real talk. If the PBC don't have no money or no fight dates for the people that signed to them, they should just let them go. They should release them all. Let them go to various companies, whoever want to pick them up, and we can get some fights made. And we can get a lot of fights made that we have interest in. We haven't seen the Charlos in a while. Haven't seen Errol Spence since 2023. Tank is fighting an uninteresting fight that nobody cares about. So that's just my thing. Let him go. Then you've been hearing things behind the scenes about Errol Spence's eyes and all that kind of stuff. Is Errol Spence in fight condition? You know, you've been hearing a lot of different things, you know, and when you report this stuff, these guys get mad. Oh, he don't know what he's talking about and all this kind of stuff. I'm just reporting the news. Don't get mad at me. I'll say allegedly. But one has to ask the question, why haven't we seen Errol Spence officially in almost 2 years? Yeah, you see him in the gym, you see him doing this, but Errol Spence has no official fight date. You know, between 2016 and 20, you know, and 2019, the PBC was doing their thing. At least till the tail end of 2021, the PBC, but you started to see the PBC start to fall off. But you heard a lot of different things happen behind the scenes. Lack of making fights that people wanted to see. You just saw a lot of politicking. You saw this thing with Al Haymon, where Al Haymon wanted to try to circumvent. He didn't want to play ball with anybody, you know, and basically everybody ganged up on him. And then some of the stuff is of Al Haymon's doing, because Al Haymon refused to play ball with the media. You know, Al Haymon didn't want to make himself available to the media. People were begging Al Haymon, hey, Al, we want to hear your side of the story. So based off the fact that Al ignored the media, Al refused to talk to the media. If Al Haymon has everybody against him or everybody coming at him, it's to Al's doing. Say what you want to say. Whether you believe the stuff that comes out of Eddie Hearn's mouth, Eddie Hearn makes himself available to the media. Bob Arum makes himself available to the media. Oscar De La Hoya makes himself available to the media. Whenever you can catch Lou DiBella, he makes himself available to the media. Whenever, I mean, for real. When you see the dude that runs Queensberry, Frank Warren, he makes himself available to the media. But the guy whose name is always attached to stuff, you can't find him. He stopped coming to fights because you heard people was trying to serve him with, you know, papers, trying to serve him with subpoenas. Then you heard about Al Haymon's turning off his phones and all that kind of stuff, changing his phone numbers. You just been here. Like I said, I could report a lot of the stuff that I heard that I think what was going on, but at the end of the day, I just decided not to do it. And then if you say these type of things about Al Haymon, if you criticize Al Haymon, then here come the fake pro-black people, the fake militant people, the fake Hotep, the dudes that talk all this black stuff and they married to white women. Hey, man, don't talk about another black man. You have to understand, man, this is not good. Well, here's the thing, though. Everybody reached out to Al Haymon. People reached out to the people But here's the thing. Al Haymon don't do interviews. That's what people would say. Oh, Al Haymon don't do interviews. So based off the fact that Al Haymon, one thing you have to understand, when you don't talk to the media and your name is always circulating and tied to stuff, and then you don't make yourself a lot of times the media want to hear your side of the story. People wanted to hear Al Haymon's side to the story, and Al Haymon ignored the media, and he acted like he was too good to talk to the media. So if people were against Al Haymon, it's to his own doing. It's his own downfall. If people are questioning what's going on with the PBC, saying they broke, they don't have no money, that's because of Al Haymon. And for people to say, oh, Al Haymon is a boss and he don't have to talk to me, you sound dumb as fuck. Get off Al Haymon's nutsack. Al Haymon ain't no more different than anybody else. If the president of the United States can do interviews and do media, then Al Haymon damn sure can do media. And I think Al Haymon could have fixed a lot of this stuff if he at least made himself occasionally available to the media. And all this stuff, and people had called me that know Al Haymon and say, hey, Tam, man, listen, man, Al, he just shy and all this kind of stuff. He just, come on, man. Come on, man. Well, if you shy, then this ain't the business for you. In this type of business, dealing with entertainment, you're going to have to talk to the media eventually. So is some of the criticism with Al Haymon out of spite and frustration? Absolutely. Of course it is. Do media have a grudge against Al Haymon? A lot of them do. Is it justified? Absolutely. I'm not for to sugarcoat nothing. Like I said before, Al Haymon could have helped his case if he at least occasionally made himself available to the media or at least issued statements. He didn't do that. He just had a bunch of people talking on his behalf. Sometimes you want to talk straight to the horse, not to the jockeys. You want to talk straight to the horse. You want to hear from the horse. At the end of the day, when people was going to see horse racing, they was going to see Seattle Slew or going to see Seabiscuit. They didn't give a rat's ass who the jockey was. And that's the problem. Al had too many jockeys. So he did this to himself. So I'm just keeping it a buck. All right, so let me get on to Terrence Crawford and Canelo. Negotiations seem to be on and off with Terrence Crawford and Canelo, but according to Aki TV, he said that Canelo turned down $100 million payday to fight Bud. That basically he's going to fight William Scroll. I really had to do research on this dude because I didn't know who the dude was, but come to find out he is the current IBF champion. Remember, they stripped Canelo of that belt. And he fought some dude for it and he won. I looked at him. I just think if Canelo fights him, Canelo will just outpoint him to a victory. I don't think Canelo's going to knock the dude out. I think it'll be a typical Canelo affair. And Canelo will just outpoint him to a victory. Now, if Canelo gets the IBF belt back, then I guess officially that makes Canelo a two-time undisputed champion. I'm going to say this again about the Bud fight. And Bud, so people in Bud's TV kind of get mad at me, but I'm not attacking Bud. I'm not attacking Bud, but I like Bud. I done spoke to Bud quite a few times off camera. I get more info from Bud off camera than I do on camera. Bud don't trust a lot of people. But his team be kind of getting mad at me. Listen, I believe in Bud as much as anybody, but I'm just saying for the acts that much of Bud to like go up basically 3 weight classes. Listen, if Bud had took a fight in between, if Bud had took like, okay, Bud fought in August, if Bud fought like in January or something, if Bud was scheduled to fight in January at 160 to get him prepared for 168, I would be a little bit more comfortable. But due to the fact he's going to jump from 154 to 160, 168, Canelo's been comfortably fighting at 168 for years now. So that's all I'm saying. But then Canelo can't go down in weight. He could, but then his fans will say, oh, Bud, he weight drained Canelo. But at least Canelo will have a legitimate excuse, somewhat. I ain't gonna say that's a legitimate excuse, but at least Canelo will have a built-in excuse if somehow Bud pulls it off. And I heard Tim Bradley say that he did research, he looked at tape, and he said that Bud is gonna beat the shit out of Canelo. Listen, as far as skill-wise, Bud is a more skillful fighter. He got more in his arsenal than Canelo do. But I'm just talking about size. Canelo probably walks around. Look, Canelo probably walk around when he's not fighting. Canelo probably walks around at probably 195, maybe even 200 pounds. I mean, let's not be, let's not be ignorant. Let's not be delusional, please. Let's not be naive. Bud probably at best, when he not fighting, he probably walk around maybe at 160. It might would be a reach to say it would be reaching to say that he walk around at 165. I've seen Bud. Bud is not that big of a dude. Even though Bud takes care of himself, I don't think Bud walks around that big. I've seen Bud when he's not fighting. Even when he doesn't have, even though Bud is almost a year in between fights, or he only fights once a year, I still think Bud probably walk around at best maybe 160. 160, 165. He's not a big dude. Bud don't let himself, get out of shape. Canelo, when Canelo not fighting, Canelo probably walk around at 190. So that's why I'm concerned about that fight. That's why I'm concerned about that fight. I don't like the weight difference. If they was fighting at, like I said, if they was fighting at a catch weight of 165 or something, I might would feel more comfortable. But then, like I said, it's just the fact that if they was fighting at a catch weight, even maybe 163 or something, 163, I might would feel more comfortable Bud taking that fight. But just for him to go up to 168. But then Canelo, from what I've been told, he's going to fight William Scroll. So he gets his IBF belt back, and he becomes a 2-time undisputed. And like I said, William Scroll, that makes more sense, even though nobody heard of him. But we all know that that'll be a basic Canelo fight. That'll be a basic Canelo fight. He'll just outpoint him. He may drop him once in the fight. And then Canelo will do what he does. He'll win. He'll just win a basic 12th round decision, and then on to the next. Now, let me wrap this video up. I will talk about this situation with Floyd on a solo video, but I was getting you guys prepped. This doesn't surprise me about Floyd. Floyd is everything that a lot of people have been saying about him and have warned people about Floyd's behavior. Floyd ain't cool, man. It's very disheartening and it's very disappointing to see that Floyd has such a lack of respect for people that's, doing him a favor by working for him, working for him, trying to help, you know, make his business profitable. And for him not to pay people and make sure they don't get paid and look into this situation, listen, I got a whole lot to say about Floyd pertaining to that. So I'll do a solo video about that. But, with that being said, appreciate you guys being here. I'll be back with more later on. I'm out.